Alright, what's going on, gang? So, I want to talk about trade deadline needs. Okay, and I'm going to go by division. Okay, NL East, and then I'm going to do Central and the West, and then I'm going to do the same thing in the American League, but I'm going to reverse and finish with the American League East, where our Yankees are going to save the best for last. Okay, and I'm going to break it down. I'll give you each team, so that's where I'm going to go today. I'm going to focus on the NL East. But before I do that, I want to give you a status update on the Yankees prospects and how they're doing down in the farm. Okay, so let's do that now. By the way, welcome to the channel if you're new. I hope you like it enough to subscribe. My subscribers, you are the best. And if you do subscribe, if you want breaking news, regular news, recaps, lineups, everything, Yankee World, you're going to find it here. And if you do, make sure you hit the like button and the bell icon too. It's not only greatly appreciated and it means the world, but it's really helpful to the channel too. And again, I say this a lot, I don't want you missing stuff, especially good stuff. But let's get to the farm here. We'll start with Low A Tampa Tarpons, managed by Rachel Balkovic. Okay, they're currently 29-40. I'm just going to give you a couple of notable performances by notable players instead of going through the whole thing. But Grant Richardson, and I found these performances notable too. 12 games, he's got a 474 batting average, 556 on base percentage, and 1,000 slugging. And he's with 5 home runs and 5 doubles. So pretty damn good. Ben Cowles, in 28 games, 292 batting average, 370 on base percentage, 500 slugging. Got 5 doubles and 6 stolen bases. There's a prevailing theme with a lot of these guys. A lot of singles, doubles, triples, and lots of stolen bases across the board. So it shows aggressive base running down in the farm, which is great. Next up, Jason Dominguez, the Martian. He's played 50 games, 271 batting average, and after a slow start, he's kind of adjusted and found his way. 393 on base percentage and 459 slugging, 7 home runs, 2 triples, 11 doubles, and 13 stolen bases. Pretty good. And lastly, Richard Fitz in 2 games, 0.75 ERA, 12 innings pitched, so he's averaged 6 innings per start, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 14 strikeouts. So good numbers across the board. High A Hudson Valley, they are 34-35, so a game under 500. Matt Sauer, one of their more recent prospects, 8 games, a 150 ERA, so he's moving his way up the pitching ranks into the system too. 36 innings pitched, 22 hits, 12 walks, and 35 strikeouts. Tyler Hardman, 23 games, a 341 batting average, 385 on base percentage, 582 slugging. So these guys are hitting the ball pretty well. 5 home runs and 6 doubles. Everson Pereira, one of the more notable Yankee prospects, 11 games, 380 batting average, a 392 on base percentage, 800 slugging. 5 home runs, a triple, and 4 doubles, along with spraying the ball across the field. And Anthony Sigler, who actually disappeared for a while, and then he's kind of just roared back into the Yankee prospect rankings. He fell off the top 30, and I think he's back on it now. So it's a good sign, too. And in 48 games, this is the ambidextrous catcher, which is and a switch hitting catcher, which is kind of cool. 48 games, 273 batting average, 448 on base percentage, 480 slugging. He's got 7 home runs, 10 doubles, and again, and he also earned the promotion from Low A to Double A. Low A to High A. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Double A Somerset Patriots, who just clinched a playoff spot, thanks to who? Walk-off home run by Anthony Volpe on Sunday. The same exact day Judge hit a walk-off home run for the Major League team, Anthony Volpe walked him off into the friggin' playoffs. Good as advertised, man. After a slow start, he is as advertised. So let's go through some guys. Will Warren, who's the guy that's being talked about in a potential Luis Castillo trade, a target for the Cincinnati Reds. In 4 games, 169 ERA, 21 innings pitched, 16 hits, 9 walks, 20 strikeouts. Elijah Dunham, one of the more prominent bats in the farm, is a left-handed hitter. 10 games, 345 batting average, 477 on base percentage, slugging 553. He's got 2 home runs, 3 doubles, and 6 stolen bases. Anthony Volpe, 34 games, 296 batting average. After a slow start, he's really revved things up. 367 on base, 533 slugging. He's got 6 home runs, 14 doubles, 13 stolen bases. Again, stolen bases from everybody across the board. And Luis Medina, one of the Yankees' higher-ranked pitching prospects. 7 games, 2.00 ERA, 2 flat, 36 innings pitched, 21 hits, 13 walks, and 45 strikeouts. So, more than a strikeout per. And these guys are 44-25. So, fantastic performance. And lastly, before the big league, the AAA, what are they called? The Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Matt Crook, Okay, he's been talked about as well. He's got 2 games started so far, 0 ERA, 12 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 13 strikeouts. Ken Waldichuk, who's probably he would probably be the first pitcher to be called up in the next batch of pitchers, aside from J.P. Sears. 12 games, 1.99 ERA, 58 innings pitched, 36 hits, 22 walks, and 88 strikeouts, man, from the left-handed side. This guy, and a 0.99 whip. I mean, he's on it. I see him getting a call-up this year. Okay? Estevan Florio, who we like to see him up here, just wish he was able to translate that offense to the major league level. He's in 41 games there, 315 batting average, a 333 on base, slugging 457 with 3 home runs, 2 triples, 12 doubles, and 19 stolen bases. Again, aggressive across the board. Got to get him to translate that up to the major league level. Give us a nice outfield option. Plus, he's got a good glove. And lastly, Oswald Peraza, who's he would probably be the one position player that's most ready to be called up any point in time soon. He's got a 9-game hitting streak right now, and it's kind of and scouts are raving because he's displaying all the tools that the scouts have been kind of bragging about for a long time, which is good, which is really, really good. So this team is 30-42, and they're 12 games under. They're in 8th place, but Peraza is hitting like 400 right now in this hitting streak. He's got 4 home runs, and he's kind of scraping it all over the place. So good for him, and he's finally kind of really standing out. So that's the stats from low A up to Triple A. Now let's get over to the major league stuff. The NL East. Let's go over to the teams. So the Washington Nationals. I think they're going to be sellers. Now to what extent I don't know, but I think Josh Bell. They're going to need prospects. So what I think their needs are depth and prospects. So prospects for a guy like Josh Bell, prospects for a guy like Victor Robles. If for some reason, somehow, they trade Juan Soto to whoever, they will revamp a chunk of their farm immediately. So, but I see them moving at the very least Robles and Josh Bell for some prospects. So that's the Nationals. Miami, they could use a shortstop and a closer. So there'll be some shortstops, some guys that play multiple positions across the board, which is one of the things Oswald Peraza is doing now. He's spending time at second, so he's getting versatility, which is good. But back to the Marlins, a closer. There are some pretty solid bullpen guys out there available. I expect them to be aggressive, going after a closer, and a shortstop, and there's some guys that they can go after too. The Philadelphia Phillies, bullpen and center field, and probably another bat now that Bryce Harper there's a good chance he might need thumb surgery after he fractured it being hit by Blake Snell the other day, and then he might need an additional outfielder. But center field is a position of need for them. Definitely, there's some guys that are available that will cost a bit, but even a guy like Michael Taylor might be interesting to them. And bullpen, they always need bullpen. So they always bring in a bunch of guys. They brought in Brad Hand and a bunch of other guys, but it just hasn't panned out the way that I thought. But not as bad as we thought as the years prior, but another reliever would be a wise idea for them. And the Atlanta Braves, who are kind of resurgent for Atlanta Braves right now, definitely an outfielder for depth probably, and another starting pitcher. Don't be surprised. If they somehow wind up with Frankie Montez or somebody like that. Just don't be surprised. They have been known to do trades like that, and they're closing the gap on the New York Mets. So I expect them to do whatever and they're the defending world champions. So I expect them to do something or a couple things. But outfielder and starting pitcher seems to be represent both needs for them. And this is based on research, what the team's saying themselves. So like corroborating sources, 4 or 5 different sources that I go over with the team. So and lastly, the Mets, they need some starting pitching. There's no guarantee. They got 3 guys out right now. Scherzer, Tyler McGill, I think his name is, and Jacob deGrom. There's no guarantee they're all going to come back ripping and roaring. So I expect them to go after a starting pitcher as well. I expect them to pursue a reliever as well. So, and maybe a left-handed bat off the bench who can play multiple positions. Who I don't know, but I think some versatility off the bench would be a good idea for them just to boost that a little bit. But at the very least, I can see them bringing in a starter and a reliever. Now, keep in mind, the next video I'm going to pivot over to the NL Central, but I also am going to be doing my updated MLB trade deadline predictions a week before the trade deadline comes out. I'm working on that right now, so you'll get that too. So what I'm saying here will make more sense when you see the predictions that I put out. But that's the news right now. Those are the needs. I think the trade deadline needs for the NL East. We'll move over to the Central this week, maybe tomorrow or the next day. and then we'll go to the West, and then again we'll go over to the American League, and we'll keep doing them. And you know what to do if you don't want to miss this stuff. Just don't leave without subscribing. So, I'll be here a little bit later to put up the lineup for Game 2. It's Frankie Montas against J.P. Sears, baby. Yes. Potential acquisition versus a call-up. So it'll be really interesting to see how this goes. And hopefully the Yankees will continue to beat up on the A's. And I'll see you tonight also for the recap. Over and out.